Hello, my name is Scarlett Felix and I'm going to talk about the domestic violence. The domestic violence is that which occurs between members of the same family. Through domestic violence, individuals are put at risk on three levels: physical, emotional, and psychological. The most unfortunate thing is that this type of violence is often silenced out of shame or fear. This is how family members suffer the consequence in silence. When domestic violence occurs, it is an indicator that professional help is needed. According to figures from the World Health Organization, um, 35% of the world's women have suffered some type of domestic violence. Families that present this type of violence must have guidance of a psychologist. Below, I will give you information so that you can recognize this type of violence um, and seek help if necessary. Type Types of domestic violence. There are various types of domestic violence. Some are easier to spot than others. There is a physical violence which is what is more commonly known. Intra-family physical violence is executed with fear and aggression. This is how the aggressor paralyzes his victim. Bodily harm is caused both by blows and objects. Weapons are sometimes used. Emotional violence, which is linked to physical violence, can also be identified. Through this type of family violence, emotions are hurt through humiliation, insults, and threats. Emotional violence can affect a victim's self-esteem. On the other hand, there is a sexual violence in which sexual contact intervenes in a coerced way. There is a sexual abuse when the victim is forced to expose her genitals or touch those of the aggressor. Another type of sexual violence is rape. With this type of violence, the person is forced to have relationship. The last type of domestic violence is economic violence. That refers to excess of economic domination within the family. It manifests itself financial restriction and material goods. Causes of domestic violence. The factor that cause domestic violence can be very varied. Intolerance is one of those factors or causes. When people aren't educated to tolerate, to accept, they end up turning violently against others. Similarly, the lack of impulse control is another cause. When there hasn't been a good development of affective bonds, people aren't able to establish them. Therefore, they adopt aggressive behavior. Another cause is the inability to solve problems. There are causes such as alcohol, drug use. All of the causes can be avoided or corrected with help of a psychologist. Consequence of domestic violence. Domestic violence is a problem that has serious consequences. Victims of any type of domestic violence suffer physical, emotional, and psychological damage. They become unable to establish or maintain effective relationship. They suffer from self-esteem problems. Domestic violence can even lead to death. Thank you for your attention.